This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
We see a lot of successful do-it-yourself investors, but there's a major difference between pedal to the metal, getting up that retirement mountain, and then descending down the mountain safely into retirement.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Hang in there, and the markets will come back, and we're in the same boat as you. Is not comforting for someone who is 58, 65, 72, and there have got to be better ways to do things, and there are.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
Abe, as one of your female friends, I feel obligated to remind you and all of the listeners of WMAL, we are now just a few weeks away from Valentine's Day.
My goodness, where did the time go?
And
we just finished Christmas.
In case anybody needs to prepare, I'm here for you.
Thank you for that reminder. That's greatly
welcome.
Appreciated. Now that we're down to 30 days or less.
This is the weekend. Do not wait. Make your dinner reservations.
Yeah.
Get whatever.
Reservations. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
The reservations is the harder part. Like, you can get flowers and chocolate last minute. It's the reservations you can't come up with the day before Valentine's if you want to impress your beloved Shelley.
That's true. They book up. They book up quickly.
It's like I said, I'm your friend. I'm here for you because
thank you very much.
You've got plenty to keep you busy and distracted with all of the work that you've got coming in. People have goals this year for their financial plan and their savings, don't they? Absolutely.
We're in the middle of still a lot of uncertainty, and I don't think we're out of the woods yet, and we got to have a plan.
Yeah.
We've got to have a plan for the good times and bad, and even for the flat years, right? And this year could be a flat year.
Yeah.
A lot of economists are predicting that, actually.
Okay.
That by the end of this year, we could end up in the same place that we are right now, essentially on the S&P 500. So we're probably going to see some more ups and downs this year, just like a lot of years, and we need a plan. We need a plan to help us transition into phase 2 and for full retirement.
Thinking about all of the immediate elements that have suddenly been thrust our way that we haven't had to factor in for many, many years, high inflation rates, rising interest rates, a rocky roller coaster market, we have questions that we didn't have before, Abe, and not just us, not just the everyday folks coming to see you in your offices there in Ashburn. Even the experts, so-called experts, have thoughts about what's going on and predictions. The outgoing president of the Kansas City Federal Reserve, Esther George, believes another economic shock could push the country into recession, but she also tells CNBC that she is actually in favor of keeping interest rates higher into 2024 to get inflation under control. Here's what she said.
I think the economy is vulnerable when you begin to be in a rising rate environment. And we see a global outlook that poses certain risk to the U.S. as we look at that. I understand in a rising rate environment why people are very attuned to this issue of demand coming down. But we continue to see a very tight labor market. We continue to see persistence around inflation that I think is going to require our attention for a while.
Abe, her outlook and those from others can rattle retirement savers perhaps even more than just your everyday investor. So what are you telling folks who are concerned, clients calling you up, asking you these things?
Heather, as we just mentioned just a minute ago, you have to have a plan. We don't believe we're out of the woods yet, and so you have to have a plan. If you're in your late 50s, 60s, you're approaching full retirement, you are a few years away or less from fully retiring or already retired, you have to have a plan to wrap protections all over your portfolio so that you don't lose another 10, 15, 20% right before you retire or right into retirement. In addition to the protections and thinking about putting that moat around your life savings, we also have a lot of important decisions that we need to make as we get closer to phase 2 and enter into phase 2, like making Social Security decisions, making pension decisions, figuring out our health care, making sure we have enough income that's going to last us the rest of our lives. And so that's what I would say to callers who continue to call in right now. Put together a plan customized for you, right? Every single person who calls into our show and everyone out there is going to have different needs and different goals, different situations, married, single, divorced, widowed, what have you, children, no children, you may care about legacy or not, and you may have a pension or not, and all these different variables, but we need to put together a customized plan for you. And so we just recently had a caller call in, concerned about a lot of these things. He lives in Silver Spring, Maryland. He is 75 years old. He's got $1 million saved. He's a 5 on our risk scale, so just a middle-of-the-road, pretty typical investor and pretty typical risk tolerance for someone who's in their mid-70s. Still working. not because he has to. He's got $1 million. He's taking Social Security. He wants to. And this 75-year-old guy looks like he's 65.
I was about to say, it keeps him young, though, doesn't it? Yeah.
Full of energy, man. I hope I look like him when I'm 75. Yeah. Full of energy and youth and just really sharp and working, wants to get out of the house and not drive his wife crazy. And you wives out there can probably relate to that. And just trying to stay sharp, right? And so the problem with their retirement plan, you may be thinking, well, he's got $1 million. He doesn't need to work. What's the deal, Abe? What's the issue, Abe? Well, once we did the Where Do I Stand plan for them and did the comprehensive analysis on everything they have, we found out that they had quite a lot of dead money sitting on the sidelines, hundreds of thousands of dollars of just extra cash sitting in checking, savings, and money markets, earning 1 to 2, maybe 2.5%, just not much at all. Certainly not keeping up with current inflation, barely keeping up with normal inflation. In addition, we found out that all of their market-based monies are unmanaged. Not that that is a major issue. You could have been successful and probably were successful the last 10 to 14 years in the markets. I mean, you could have been sleeping the last 14 years and made money, right? And never opened up your statement. Yeah. Except for 2022, when everybody remembered that, hey, the markets can actually go down. And it's normal for the markets to go up and down. And so we saw that, all of his market monies are unmanaged. And he's like, well, I was down, Abe, about 20% last year and I'm 75 and I still got $1 million, but I certainly don't want to lose another 20. You have anything in mind, right? What should I be looking out for? So we want to find out how much risk you're taking. What is a standard deviation of his investments, of your investments? What are you paying in fees? And also being 75, he had some IRAs out there and was taking RMDs. And for the first time, as he was taking out his RMDs, he incurred sequence risk. That double negative, double whammy risk that when the markets were down last year, he was also forced to take out that government RMD, which made the matters worse in his IRA, right? Dealing with all these risks that can mess up the last 50 years of his hard work. So the solution for him, as is a lot of people out there that we help, number one, we want to get that dead money off the sidelines. That's what we did for him. And right now, with rates having gone up 7 times, I think, last year, Heather, by the Federal Reserve, there are instruments out there that are darn safe that are offering attractive returns and yields and interest rates, right? And right now, you could put your money in something really safe, like a simple fixed annuity, paying between 4.3 to 5.5 right now. That may not last a long time, right? Interest rates have risen. They typically are not paying that high or typically don't pay that high in a normal interest rate environment, but currently paying between 4.3 and 5.5. That's a nice place to keep your money safe and pick up more yield and interest than you probably could in the bank. And so we also made a recommendation to manage his monies in the market tactically. That is proactive money management to try to help during uncertain times, to get defensive when we need to get defensive, to take advantage of opportunities when the markets are up as well. And so for any of you listening right now, what we'd like to offer is the same thing that we offered to this gentleman and his family, was a portfolio X-ray and analysis, a plan for your dead money and his dead money, a plan for any unmanaged money that could be at higher risk and may have higher fees than you realize as well. If you're listening right now, if you're 55 years old and older, if you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
So while rising inflation and interest rates are a thing of now, something that has been a thing of forever is our tax concerns. But we can actually make it about right now as well, as far as what our options and opportunities are, Abe, because we've talked about it before, how the tax landscape as we know it is going to change. At least it's set to, according to the law, in 2026. That's when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will sunset, and it means ordinary tax rates will increase to what they were in 2017, and the estate tax exemptions will be halved. And who knows what's going to happen with a divided Congress, what they'll do at that time. Does this not further prove the case to have a good tax plan, and if not, doing it sooner than later?
Heather, tax planning is part of our service and part of our offering at Abish Financial. It is one of the most important things you can do and take advantage of and take opportunities within a comprehensive retirement plan. Taxes will more than likely be our biggest expense in retirement. You just mentioned the tax code and rates and brackets going back up to what they were prior to the Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Even if taxes go up by 2 to 3%, that's 2 to 3% less in your portfolio probably than you have today. And if you can save even 2 to 3%, wouldn't you want to take advantage of that?
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, absolutely.
So by having a strategic tax plan, included in your comprehensive retirement plan. A fiduciary retirement planner should be looking for ways to lower and mitigate tax on your life savings. That would be on your TSPs, 401ks, IRAs, accounts that have not been taxed yet. So we just had a couple call in and come into the show. They live in Manassas, Virginia. And the wife pointed this out as we were talking about taking a pension lump sum and, rolling over accounts and getting them in the right portfolio allocations and all these things. She said, shouldn't we be thinking about getting money into Roth IRAs, right? Shouldn't we just move the whole thing into a Roth IRA? I said, well, wait a minute here. I appreciate the question. I understand where you're going. I understand that you probably have a concern now with taxes going up in the future, but we do want to run the math and we don't want to essentially pay too much tax, right? And pay more tax than we need to. We want to do this the right and smart way. And so the concern was, they have about $1 million saved and they are low on our risk scale. The concern is that most of that million, Heather, was in pre-taxed accounts.
Got it.
The husband's 457 plan, 401k plan, and IRAs. And I think about $700,000 to $800,000 of that million was in pre-taxed accounts.
Got it.
Concern with taxes going up, wanting to do something about it, right? Had plenty of cash on the sideline. That's good. That's bad, right? We want cash for reserves, for emergencies, perhaps for opportunities. But if we have hundreds of thousands of dollars of extra cash, which is what they did as well, then we got to be looking for ways to get that dead money off the sidelines, working harder for us. They had that pension decision to make, and they had no plan at all. So they had a lot going on, a lot of decisions here at the point of retirement. Man, these are all reasons to seek out fiduciary advice on your retirement plan. Not just the typical financial advisor at a big box firm who's going to help you with the investments. Okay, anyone can do that, right? We're obviously going to help our clients manage their investments in the market and out. But probably most importantly, Heather, someone needs a plan. The tools, the products, the investments, the strategies are all part of a comprehensive plan, or should be. The plan should be first, and then you should be able to work with someone who can offer you anything, right? Anything in the market or anything out.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abish Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.